Welcome back to Boy Band Break, where we encourage you to take a break from your day and join us in some great boy band conversation. As always, my name is Diane.
I'm Chinzia.
I'm Sophia.
And I'm Lydia, a.k.a. Mama Lou.
All right, so today we have our long-awaited mixtape tour review.
Woo!
I know
Everyone's been waiting.
Yes, I know the tour is, I think it's over now.
I think so.
But and I know that we actually attended this tour a while ago. You probably saw some videos and pictures on our social medias. And if you did not, because you're not following us, then you should definitely go check out our Instagram and our Twitter and our Facebook page at Boy Band Break. And you can find all of that there. So yes, we couldn't review it immediately after for various reasons. And last week we wanted to get our Canada Day Canadian boy band episode in. So here we are finally at our mixtape tour review. So I know that Chinzia and Sophia were able to go to the show in Toronto, even though originally we didn't have tickets for that.
We did not.
But
It was a last-minute ferry.
My ex-coworker was able to find a pair of tickets that nobody was using, and she thought of me and said, hey, do you want to go? And I'm like, of course. So then I messaged Sophia. I'm like, hey, what are you doing in 4 hours? We're going to New Kids. And she's like, all right, cool.
And it was good that I had the late shift because I worked down there.
Beautiful. And then Chinzia and I went to the show that was just a few days later in Buffalo, New York.
And we bought those tickets when they were like super cheap, thinking
During,
National Concert Week, and they were $20. We're like, yeah. And then we got there, we're like, no, because
They were literally the last row of the Key Bank.
I felt like we were touching the roof. I actually got like dizzy, and there was like a section right beside us that was empty. So we're like going to the front row of this section. So we went there.
Which ended up being pretty good.
Some girls tried to sell us 12th row tickets, and I was so tempted. But then we decided to be responsible adults and not do it.
They wouldn't take less than what?
They wanted $100 US each. And she's like, these cost $350 each. We're like, okay, but the concert's like literally about to start. And they're just like, well, we can't go any lower. These are great. We're like, all right, fine. So then we're like, we walked away, and then we're like,
And then to be fair, because I know Chinzia wanted them so bad, I literally counted all the cash I had in my wallet, which for some reason I never have cash, but this was America, so like I bring cash when I go to America, and I counted my cash, and I was like, I literally only have $150. Like I can't even pay them $200, even if we want to. So.
And they looked offended that we were going to offer less.
C'est
so we're just
la
like,
vie.
whatever. I believe they found people because it looked pretty crowded on the floor.
Yeah,
so. Anyways, our spot ended up being okay because it was actually on the side and we were good. We can see everything.
Yeah.
Sophia and ours was in the 100-ish level.
Yes.
2 rows from the top of that section.
Was it 113?
I don't know, something like that. Whatever. It was
So
good.
if you weren't able to attend,
but we were on the aisle for both. So yes.
If you
It was
weren't
a good view.
everybody good?
Yeah.
Evacuation.
Can I talk?
Complete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. If you weren't able to attend the tour and you, I don't know, live under a rock and don't have social media but for some reason listen to this podcast. So New Kids were on tour with Naughty by Nature, Salt and Peppa, Tiffany, and Debbie Gibson. And the way that this tour worked was we had talked about it. We had kind of thought that it was going to be similar to other tours that they had done in the past, where like, you know, all of those people would perform prior to New Kids, and then New Kids would be sort of like the headlining act, and New Kids would do their thing all kind of in a row. But this one was a little bit different in that it was all interspersed. So it started and ended with New Kids, and you know, they did their little sets like in between, but then, you know, Tiffany came out a couple of times and Debbie Gibson came out a couple of times. I think Naughty by Nature was the only one that came out just once, right?
No, I think they came out a second time. I think they were on the other stage.
No, the only one came out once.
They started, because they did the chair thing, and then they were at the OPP song.
Yeah, that's just like one thing,
yeah,
but it's
one
all...
thing.
You know what? It's because they started with DJ so-and-so, and it was that bear guy who's part of their
like
band.
kind of before the show starts.
Yeah.
So
like
I
a
guess
pre-thing.
technically
It was
they're
very weird. It was like a marshmallow type thing, or like any of those other guys. They're just like, here's a
sat
random
down for
skinny
that.
guy with a hat, and I'm like, is this the same guy every night?
It's a bear head.
Mask.
Head, sorry. They did have good music though. They were playing a good mix of music before it started, so I felt like that helped pump it up. And I really enjoyed how the stage was set up. So the front stage area was a big rectangle, and it actually had it was exactly like a cassette tape. So it had like the two little circle parts, and then it had like a rectangle in the middle, and that part was the part that rose up and down, so like to get the bands onto the stage. They also had a thing that opened up in the back that played videos. And then the cool part, which I really enjoy that New Kids does this for their concerts, is they had a row all around the stage. So it was like, what is that, like a C shape, I guess. And those were all stools. You paid a lot of money for those ones, but you got to like they were right there. You were like, your stool was right up against the stage. So our friend Sarah had like really good seats there. And we saw some pictures that she did of there. So it looked like they got a lot of interaction there. Then there was another secondary stage at the back that was like a little circle. And that one also rose up and down. So at some point the boys had gone up on there. And Debbie did 2 sets. So it was kind of like a mixtape. So it was just kind of like back and forth between the bands. So New Kids started and ended the show. And then they were also in the middle in between like the different other acts.
They also had an app that you could be part of the show as well.
And then my phone died. So I don't really know. Was the app just a color changing or a flashlight?
It seemed like, I don't know. I don't know what happened in Toronto. I wasn't there. But they advertise it like before the show starts, like, hey, we want you to like be part of the show, so go download this app. I don't even remember what it was called.
Appix, I think.
Yes, Appix.
APPIX.
Anyways, go download this app and you can be part of the show. So then I said to Chinzia, should we do this? And she was like, I did, but I don't know. Anyways, during the Buffalo show, it was working for you. Your phone didn't die. But it seemed like, because she was like, well, I don't think anyone used it at the Toronto show. It seemed like people in Buffalo were using it, but from what I could tell, and I don't know because no one really like close to us seemed to be using it, but we could see people in the crowd. It just seemed to be like it would make your screen like flash red and you could like hold it up or like purple or something. So I don't know if there were other things happening on the screen.
And it was only if the app was fully open as well. That was the other part. So if you went out to go take a picture or something, you would miss the notification that something was about
because it was popping up.
Oh, the notification would pop up.
The notification
it was just letting
would
us
pop
know
up.
that
It would
something
be like,
good is happening.
Get ready to, whatever, go into your app now or whatever. But we never actually went into it. I don't know. If you know what that was about and you thought it was something cool, leave us a comment because maybe other people would be interested.
The other cool part about the stage that I really liked on the main like rectangle cassette stage is that it had looked like a piece of tape, and as the song was playing, it would have the title of the song and the band.
That was actually really
I
cute.
really thought that was really cute and I liked it.
The bad part of that though was that you could only see that if you were higher up. If you were on the floor, you'd never know that.
Because I didn't know. Did you notice that in Toronto?
No, I did not.
Because we were at the other end, so it was hard to see. But because where we were in Buffalo, we were like right above. I'm like, that's really cool and helpful because I don't know what this song is.
Yeah, that was actually really cool.
So we're gonna get into.
But you would have to have like a very specific seat to see it.
Yeah, that's true. Because if you're on the floor, you wouldn't have been able to see it because they're stepping on it. So yeah.
No, I was gonna just say something about the app. I did think it was like a neat idea because it's kind of like, oh, people are gonna have their phones out anyways, so it's a good way to like whatever. I don't know what necessary. Maybe New Kids got money from it. I don't really know, but I just. And
I wish it was more interactive.
I
wish it was like you could take a picture and then it would show up on the screen or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen because they actually had the video like, oh, get your phone out. You're about to take a selfie.
No, that's not where I was going.
I know.
with this,
Sorry,
though.
go
What
back
if
to
people
your
take a picture of their pee-pee though, and then there's no way to like.
It doesn't automatically go on it. Like when we were at the Junos, we did like a hashtag and our stuff picture went up on the screen.
Yeah, that's
none of you
same
were
at
with me.
that-
That was
At
somebody
the
else.
jungle ball as well.
Oh, the jingle ball.
Yeah,
Jingle
that's
ball.
The jungle
Oh my
ball.
God, jingle ball. Yeah.
I was gonna say
With
at
all the
that
cheetahs and-
radio thing. It did that as well. But anyways, that's not what I was gonna say. I wasn't going down that road. I can see why people have their phone out and whatever, but I really think that more artists should go towards don't use your phone during the concert. I know that that's really hard for people and some people would like absolutely hate it, but I'm just like, why are we
Is that because of Bruno Mars?
What? No.
Wait, does Bruno Mars say don't touch your phone?
I don't know.
Some artists have these
I've
pouches.
read an article saying that
I-
Bruno Mars said to like not touch your phone and like put it somewhere.
Many artists say it, but don't actually like. There are some concerts nowadays where they
give
put
you a
your
pouch.
phone in these like little pouches.
Okay.
And it
Yes.
locks as you get into the venue, so you can't
So
open it
you
up. And then
can't
if
use
you
your
do
phone.
need to use your phone, you have to go back out to the lobby and it unlocks. And you can take your phone out.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of artists encourage people to put their phones away. And Bruno Mars does encourage people to, like, he's like, okay, you got your pictures, now let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to tell people they can't use their phone. But in my opinion, I'm just like, why are we encouraging people to use their phone more? Because it's really, in my opinion, I don't know. And this is way off topic of what we're supposed to be talking about, but it's really frustrating for me to see people looking down at their phone when there's a concert going on. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, did I get that picture? Oh, do I look cute in this selfie? Like, you know what I mean? Oh, let me post it on Facebook. And then people are posting comments and they're like replying to them. And I'm like,
Totally didn't go live during these shows.
I was gonna say, like,
I
to
know,
be
why are you
fair,
calling us out?
to be fair, they go live.
No,
on
we
the
do
show.
The same thing.
and I was
And
doing
you were
it
on
too.
Instagram.
I was doing it too. I'm guilty of the same thing.
like,
I'm
why
not
are you
saying
calling us
I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is it takes you out of the moment. It
Yeah.
takes you
Oh, yeah.
for sure. I would have much rather.
But then you also capture some moments too, because if somebody's recording and let's say Donnie Wahlberg had come out and was like dancing up with you, somebody is going to have a copy of that. So you have your moment captured on film. Not film, digitally.
If they did like record every single concert and then you got it, like you got a digital copy of it afterwards, like when you leave.
Some
the venue,
artists do that.
that would be cool. You know, like even plays, for example, like because sometimes you're like, oh my god, this moment was just so like intense, but like it's like lost in a way. It's lost forever in the void of, you know, like memories, like tears in the rain. It's like gone. You know.
But I mean, you have that memory. You know that it happened.
I don't know. I'm still disappointed about that Backstreet Boy pre-GMA thing where we weren't allowed to take our phones
honestly,
out.
the other thing is like even think of the memories that you do have on film. How often are you looking at that?
True.
Not often.
True.
So you think about it
on
more than you
Facebook.
actually look at it.
Sure.
Right? So
Yeah.
whether you might show it to people initially after like watch this, but 10 years from now you're not going to be watching that video.
The thing is, with the future, I think we're going to experience more tech in every concert. Like it's going to be
So
more
you think
involved.
that's the
I
way
think
more things are gonna
Yeah,
go?
because even like with BTS, right? They had the light sticks that were Wi-Fi enabled that changed color with the song.
Yeah.
So like I feel like it
fun.
is cool, but like yeah, like you said, it does take you out of the show. But at the same time, like we're going into like VR now. Like there's so much coming that it's going to be like hard to separate the two.
Yeah. There's just nothing like being
yeah.
there and seeing something live with your
In the
own
moment.
2 eyes, not through a screen. I don't know.
It's true. You're right. You are right.
As a short person, sometimes if I'm not really close and I'm further away, I appreciate when people have they're filming something because then I could see. Because on the Nick and Night tour, they were doing Pony. And they were on the ground on the stage, and I was further back and couldn't see, but somebody had angled their phone at a good way, and I could watch exactly what was happening. I was like, look, because they didn't have any screens.
You
on
need
that
those
tour.
glasses with the mirror. Like
Yeah.
Like a
Yes.
little periscope here. As a short person, I just need to see.
Anyways, sorry, this is super off topic. So back to Mixtape tour. What are
Initial reaction? Or?
yeah, like what did you think?
I personally thought that although I am 36 years old, I was too young for this show.
Okay. Yes.
In
and
the
since I'm
regards-
34, I was even younger for the show.
So I loved the New Kids portion, and I think that was amazing.
I agree.
I did not know really any. Apparently, OPP, I knew that. So I didn't really know Naughty by Nature. I knew I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. And I knew absolutely none of the Debbie Gibson songs. Even after watching the show twice, I'm thinking maybe I like literally have never heard it. And Salt and Peppa, they did like 3 songs that I had no clue what they were. And then they obviously had like What a Man and Push It and those ones. And those ones I knew. But I felt like the other ones, I didn't connect with the bands as much because I didn't know them.
And for some of those songs, I sat down because I had no idea And so I just like, okay, I'm
But
just gonna sit down.
that being said, the crowd was crazy and they loved that, and that was fantastic. And are we going
the
to
highlight
of
our
the Toronto show?
though,
We were dying.
we were very excited. I got chills. because
I
like,
was friggin' tearing up.
I never knew that he would come out.
So,
Yeah.
Canadian rapper, shall we say, reggae artist, I don't really know what
guess.
Snow came out onto the
Snow,
stage
like, oh
and
my
performed
gosh,
Informer,
it's
and
Snow.
we were dying. We were like screaming because I had recently been talking about Snow and how we haven't seen him in like 1,000 years, and he was there, and it was fantastic.
You're manifesting.
It was fantastic.
It was fantastic. And they also gave the Raptors lots of love.
Yes, and they did, and it was like, because we just won the championship. That is the word.
For
yes,
the first time ever in history.
24 seasons.
so like Donnie was like super pumped about it. The Raptors cheer team or whatever they were came out.
Dance pack.
Whatever.
The Raptor came out.
The Raptor guy came out. I think he might have done a flip. I don't know.
He did some.
And then at like one point they were wearing like their Boston jerseys, and then
on the screen, they
yes,
had
that
the
was it.
championship
And then we
as
were
well.
like several times throughout the concert they wanted us to chant for Toronto and the Raptors and all that
Yes,
stuff.
So it was good.
And then when like they were wearing their Boston Bruins jerseys, then the Raptor came out and was all like, "What are these ugly shirts?" Because I don't speak, I'm miming. And they're like, "What?"
said the ugly
So then they
part in
like
his head.
pulled off the shirts and they were all wearing Raptors
Those
jerseys.
Boston Bruins shirts are hideous.
They are.
And then they were just like, what? So, which is obviously they do this at most concerts, whatever the local sports team is, they'll
What?
wear it. But they were like,
No, I don't think so.
Not all, but at a lot of them they will, or they'll bring out
Did they
the.
do it in Buffalo?
Really?
Yeah, you haven't seen them.
No, I thought
they
they
do
just
them
wore
before?
the Bruins jerseys all the time. They just did this only because the Raptors had literally like the week before won the championship.
Did they do it in Buffalo?
In
No.
Buffalo, they didn't, but they brought out the Buffalo cheerleaders of some sort,
Oh, okay.
or cheer team or something.
It wasn't even the Bills.
And
cheers.
that was for the boys in the band. They did that.
yeah,
Yeah, so
and
it
that was the
wasn't-
only time. There was nothing else.
And so, but like Donnie was so freaking pumped about
Yes.
and then this is the best part. So obviously, at any concert, they're like, "Oh, I don't know who's the loudest fans on the tour." Oh, blah blah blah. So then they're like, "What? I can't hear you." And then obviously you cheer, and they're like, "Oh, you're the loudest fans, Toronto. You're the loudest. You're amazing." So then we were in Buffalo like 3 days later, and he gets to that part like, "Who's the loudest fans?" We're like, "Well, gee, I don't know. I guess Buffalo's going to be the loud." And he's like, "Guys, like I don't know. We were in Toronto, and they were like freaking nuts." And I was like, "Ooh." And then he was like trying to also kind of talk about the Raptors a little bit, but not too much because obviously
Even
it's
in Buffalo?
in Buffalo.
That's
But it
amazing.
wasn't as to the extent as when they were in Toronto.
Not even a little bit. That's hilarious.
But it was pretty funny. And he's like, "Listen, I know 15% of you are Canadian. Where are you?"
What?
And we're all like, "Woo!" He's like, "You
Calm
guys
down.
came over the border." I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And we're like screaming. And then they're like, "Okay, you guys have to outscream these 15% Canadians." And then Buffalo was like, "Woo!" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're loud." But we're like, whatever. I just really appreciated the fact that we actually got like, and I don't know.
How did he know?
because
Because
New
we're in
Kids,
Buffalo.
I told her. I was telling her after the show. We've talked about on this podcast before, and I mean, it's 1,000% true. I'm sure that like a lot of people who are boy band fans know this. New Kids fan engagement and like talking to their fans and knowing their fans is like unparalleled.
Yeah, this is true.
Do you know what I mean? And so they have been aware always, because I remember I've only seen New Kids in concert. No, that's a lie. I saw NKOTB. I was going to say
Minus
I've only seen them.
NKOTB.
Minus NKOTB. I've only seen New Kids in concert twice. And they were exactly 2 years apart.
On the exact same day.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
hilarious.
that.
It was so funny.
anyways, 2 years prior, when I had seen them with you at the one with Boyz II Men and Paula Abdul, whatever that tour was,
The one we were late to.
they had mentioned the same thing, because I remember during that tour they pulled someone up on stage, I guess every night, and they pulled a girl up on stage and they were like, "Where are you from?" And she was like, "I'm from Buffalo," or whatever, and everyone was like, "Boo, pick a Canadian," whatever, right? And they were like, "Relax, you'll all be there tomorrow when we were in Buffalo." And so they know, they know their fans, they know the fan base, they know how things go and that people follow them around. So like,
Especially since it's so close. Like
Yeah,
Toronto and
it's
Buffalo's
good
like,
of
what,
them
2
to,
hours?
like-
Not even?
it's good of him to point that out. Like I'm sure he saw people during the meet and greet and like in the crowd that he's like,
Donnie
"Oh,
is very good at remembering people.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. So I
Is he
think
the one who
that's
used to be a real estate agent?
Donnie?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I don't think any. I know Joey's wife is a real estate
Oh,
agent.
okay, never mind. Sorry.
Anyways,
John maybe did some real
John.
estate.
I don't know.
farmhouse fixer.
Yes, they had an ad for that. I'm very excited to watch it.
Oh,
Hey,
well.
John.
Anyways, any other thoughts?
I sat down at Please Don't Go Girl, and the best part was, well, I don't know whether the best part, but I sat down, and then Chinzia's like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom and get some popcorn, whatever. So the whole song went on and on and on, and Chinzia was still gone, and then by the time it was over, she came back. And I was like,
I could
you
still
missed
hear the concert.
You missed the best part.
Oh,
I was
like,
joking.
Please don't go.
Yeah.
Please. And you're like, just
I
stop
was
the
like,
song.
kill me now, please.
I don't know why he does that. Like, does anyone go nuts for that?
The fans
Yes,
love it.
they
Their
do.
fans
They love it.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
I
they're
feel
like,
like
"Ooh,
if you're like a
summer."
Joey
Never
fan, you were like, I saw he tweeted
He
out.
tweeted something, and it was
from
very
the other
emotional.
night
He got
that
very
he had to leave like after that because he got very emotional, and
it was the
like,
city where his father had passed away or something.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why.
well, they
I
were in
don't-
Boston, so.
Oh, is that where they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But I think it was like
guess
the anniversary
Joey.
of his father's death or something.
I've just
Oh, okay,
always
gotcha.
assumed that Joey's just overreacting for dramaticness,
Same.
but apparently
And
he
Jordan
actually
Knight
does
also
feel
does
this as
the-
well. So
Overreacting as well.
I feel like his was significantly less. And
Yeah.
I say this as a person who's not a huge Jordan fan. I feel like he wasn't as
In
like,
Toronto, he
I'm
was
going to
crazy.
cry.
Not good.
yeah, but I don't know.
That's
I
just
thought
my
they were very.
opinion.
And in Toronto, John was in our section at the very bottom, and so I'm like, he's always shaking hands because you know what? In Tonight, which is my favorite song, because they come into the crowd, la 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 tonight. So he comes to the crowd and he's in our, and he like had climbed up, and I'm like, cool. And then I'm like trying to watch the other guys, and then I notice he's coming up, and he's coming up more. And okay, we're like 28th row, so there's
We are
no
not
way
close,
he's coming up.
so don't
But
even-
we were on the aisle, and halfway down there was like a little stop. So I was like, meh, I'm going down. So I went down.
Shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot,
There you
people.
go.
And he was about halfway up there, and then my phone died. No. And I was like, ah. So I'm like, Sophia, come down. Sophia. And I'm like gesturing, and she's just waving. And I was just like, could you.
She wasn't gonna get it, so
If
that's
Sophia
why.
had come down, then I would have gone to the aisle to try to like see John.
Okay.
But whatever.
like I said before,
Why didn't you live in the moment?
she
I could have got it without
wasn't
getting
that
an
close to get to him. So please do not say anything like this.
I think I was about 5 or 6 rows away. And I
I
could have done
disagree.
it. I probably guess I could have just gone without
I have
having a
video,
picture. Yes.
but I didn't share that.
No. Anyways, it was very exciting. He was like literally there the entire song. In fact, I feel like the next song had even started and he was still in the crowd. We're like, hey, buddy, like, you want to go catch up with the guys? With the boys in the band?
They stayed out there
down.
for a good amount of time because they do Tonight.
Because they start off in the little backstage at the back
Yeah.
and then they move their way up
Games,
to the front.
They do games as well.
What games?
Games.
Like Minute
Games?
Winning?
No,
Oh,
the
shit.
song is called Games.
Sorry.
No, I
But
think
then
it's good.
In Buffalo, they were still kind of moving up there.
Yeah,
during Boys
I
in
think-
the band.
Donnie, I think, stayed in the crowd for. He actually, he also made it up there. So depends on the night, but John came the same way both nights. So I feel like that's his side. So, and that was his side on the last tour when I saw him. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, the New Kids on the Block part was good. And,
Um,
and Snow, fantastic.
Yeah. So Debbie Gibson had a couple of costume changes.
I didn't know any of their songs.
Salt
their
and
songs at
Pepper,
all.
very
And I
sexual
didn't know
ladies.
that Debbie Gibson
And they
and
had
Joey
very
McIntyre
good-looking
had a
men
song
dancing up
together.
on them.
Ooh.
They had 2 male dancers each for their
Ooh.
thing.
Did you know about a duet with Debbie Gibson and Joey McIntyre? Because I did not.
No, I didn't know that, but
So
yeah.
I was like, okay.
I want to say, and I obviously don't know this as a fact, I want to say that that song was a duet, but not originally with Joey McIntyre, but like whoever she originally did it with obviously isn't there. So she just did it with Joey is what I want to say.
Okay, that makes
But
sense.
I don't
No
know
idea.
for sure. So if you do know for sure, please let us know.
And then, so they did Boys in the Band in the middle, which I thought was weird because Debbie Gibson was there, but I don't think she came out on stage during that song or sang it.
It was hard to
I think it
notice
was-
because there were so many people on the stage.
I don't think she did.
No, I think they just played her voice track from that.
But, well, I don't know. Is it actually her on the song or is she just in the video? I feel like maybe it's
No,
not.
I thought it is her in the song.
I don't know, but it's definitely her in the video, like
Yeah.
the music video. But I don't know if it's actually her on the song. So maybe that's why. who knows?
And
There
then
was,
sorry.
there was something I wanted to ask you, but go ahead, please.
I was going to say, for the finale, they all came out and did the song that they all did together, which was 80s Baby. And it was pretty cool. And it's, baby, you're my 80s girl.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's good. It's like, it had all of the bands. I thought it was like a really cute, like, and it was a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously.
What question were you going to ask Chenzia?
No, I was
She was
going to
asking
ask
in general.
everyone.
The floor.
Oh.
Or the-
Everyone.
Well, everyone in here and also everyone at home. I thought that the intro was very cute with like the Siri thing.
I
They're
wasn't
all
there.
looking
Okay,
at,
so-
everyone in the room is looking at me like I'm insane.
like-
but
Was it Siri or was it somebody else?
it was Siri. So
Alexa.
then,
It's like,
no, it was.
I thought it was
Siri.
Alexa.
It was Alexa.
Okay, it was Alexa.
It was one of them.
It was
whatever.
one of those
Voice acted things. It's like, bring me to the...
no.
Okay, sorry,
Can I
you
Okay,
just
do
let
say it?
her say it. She obviously remembers it
Can
better
I
than you
just
guys.
say it because
Yes.
it's going to lead to my question.
Yes.
Sorry.
She answers.
Okay.
And she's like, "What can I help you with tonight?" And then it's like looking up information for mixtape tour, and then it's like looking up directions to Jordan Knight's bedroom, or I
Yeah.
found
Yeah.
some
Yes,
information
yes.
about whatever, and then it's like found directions to mixtape tour or whatever. So what I wanted to know was, do they change that? Like, is it always Jordan Knight's
Yes,
bedroom?
it was Jordan
Yes,
Knight's
it wasn't-
bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Ooh.
sad. They should switch it up. Like one night it should be
Why?
Donnie, one night it should be Joey.
Yeah,
Nobody
so everyone's
cares
like,
about John's
woo!
room.
And they're like, hey, do you
John's
want to
okay.
come to a mixtape, whatever? And we're like, let's go back to Jordan's bedroom. And we're like yelling at, so that was cute. It was fun.
Yeah, I just thought that was like a cute little thing. And then they like show all the people who are going to be on the tour and show them like back in the 80s, like what they looked like and stuff like that. So I just thought that was really cute. But I was going to ask that question because I feel like they should switch it up. Come on.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cuter if they had a couple more segments because it was just like, you're here, Jordan Knights, go to the mixtape. Oh, you've arrived at mixtape, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
that's how it kind of like started.
Like, concession stand. Would you like to know the price of beer?
That would be funny.
Too much. Anyway, so then what I also really liked was when they did Boys in the Band, they flashed all the different boy bands up on the stage.
Aw, that's
Pictures
Like
of
on
them.
the screen, you mean?
On the screen, yeah. So
Not
that
on
was...
It was very nice.
It wasn't a hologram.
nice. Ooh. Oh,
Or that could have been fun.
Next time. Holograms are in right now.
Does New Kids have the funds for holograms?
I don't
Probably
know.
not,
It's
no.
pretty sold out, the shows.
Tour not doing well?
I think they did well.
how I feel like holograms are expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends how fancy you want the hologram. Like, Brad Paisley had one, and it was okay. It's Loretta Lynn.
This is a stick man.
Maybe they have connection. Maybe they have
Looks nothing
connections
like
with
her,
a
but,
hologram
you know.
company.
It's like a projector sheet.
They
Yes,
can
they
get
had
a
an over-
discount from a hologram company. Who knows?
What is happening right now? I don't know.
I literally
Um,
have no idea.
What else?
Come on,
What
more
else?
mixtape stuff. What do you guys
I feel
got?
like that's pretty much it, no?
We
As
tried...
a person who did not attend the tour, Lydia, do you have any other questions?
FOMO. I have FOMO. I should have fear of missing out. Damn, that sounds
Do you
like
want to
a lot
know
of
how many
fun.
times they took their shirts off?
How many?
Many.
Oh, there's a
Oh!
point where they go into their
Johnny
fitting
takes
rooms
it off
and
really
show them
nice.
changing.
Why? And yes.
So
great.
2 per each. John, and they're just like, oh hey, and then Danny Wood is always like, oh look, I'm naked, and I'm like,
Oh, get away.
They don't show John though.
John doesn't.
Shocking.
It's just like
He's in.
It's
think
2 and
it's
2. It's like
like
Danny
Granny
and
and
Jordan.
He's a
no, yeah,
grandpa.
Danny and Jordan on one, and then Joey and Donnie on the other one.
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're like in this room and they're like, oh no, you've caught us changing our shirts. Oh, what's happening? Oh, whatever. So that's kind of like,
Okay.
pretty
well,
and then
that's
everyone's like,
voyeurism.
woo,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
We were like, that's Lydia.
They've done that on other tours too, though.
Fantasy.
I don't think that was the first time. I think they
No,
did
we've
on
seen
the
it before.
last
I
one
think
too.
it's pre-recorded though.
No,
No.
it's live. No,
How can you tell?
because
said
you
live
Because
can
on
it's
the
different every
screen.
Oh,
time.
it doesn't matter. You can say anything on the screen.
I feel like it was
Chinzia
pre-recorded.
attended 2 in a row. Was it different footage each time?
It looked
like
different.
they weren't doing the exact same
No,
thing.
yeah, no, it definitely looked different.
So there you go.
Because like they move around, and then one guy's in front of the other guy, and then whatever.
Like,
So
and
it's
I feel I don't know. I've never attended multiple New Kids shows in a row, but I'm sure the Block Kids can confirm. But like, the one that we were at in Buffalo, like when they turned the camera on, I feel like Donnie and Joey weren't like entirely ready because it looked like they were just like having a conversation, and then they were like, "Oh right, here's our shirts off." Like,
Why are these women objectifying me?
Oh man. Anyways, yeah, no, but and okay. I will say this too. I was very skeptical about the whole like swapping New Kids in and out between these other acts, because you always run the risk of like people getting bored and leaving, right? Which is not what you want to happen. You don't want your supporting acts to be on stage and like singing their hearts out, and then like you just see like half the crowd like going to get popcorn. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what happened with Debbie Gibson. You just saw like this mass exodus to go get popcorn.
Right? Like that's very sad. But I didn't think in Buffalo it was that bad. Like there was definitely some people who did like go in and out, but it wasn't like visibly like massive crowds leaving.
Yeah,
and I did think, in a way, like, even I was skeptical about NKOTB and that, like, whole thing. But in a way, it's nice, in a sense, to have the little breaks.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're, like, I don't know how you guys behave at concerts, but we're, like, standing, screaming, singing, dancing, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, let me sit down for a second and stop
It takes
sweating.
a lot out of you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm 34 years old. My old ass needs a break. And I'm sure that, like, even New Kids, they're not exactly spring chickens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they probably enjoy having the intermittent breaks as well to, like, catch their breath, get some water. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I call it steak fade. So essentially, you know when you go to the keg and you have this like really nice steak, and then you have like the garlic mash, right? You're there for the steak. You're like, oh, this steak is so good. But then afterwards, you're like, oh, I'm kind of like, eh. But then you move over to the mashed potatoes. You're like, whoa, this is good. And then you go back to the steak. You're like, I forgot how good the steak was. So like
that's true.
It's like
that's a very good analogy.
See, like, for real, man. If you were
and it's not just because Lydia's hungry. So.
But like I'm saying, like because when you eat too much steak, you get steak fade. So you need to go visit other things like the.
I
need to spice it up.
That analogy.
That's good. I like that.
That is a very good analogy,
and it's true because I felt like, and this is no shade to New Kids, okay. But it was the first time that I had seen them in tour, and I had nothing else to compare them to except for the Backstreet Boys, especially because I was seeing them back to back. Okay? And at that NKOTB BSB tour, I was like, wow, the Backstreet Boys are really great. Again, no shade to New Kids, but I was like, you see the differences and you see the things about New Kids that shine and the things about Backstreet that shine, because like I said, New Kids have their thing. They have the fan engagement. They have their like little moments, and they're in the crowd and they do like they're a
little more sexual, I think,
things that Backstreet doesn't do.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure that the New Kids fans were like, wow, Backstreet Boys are so boring because they just are on the stage all the time,
not getting naked.
but then when you hear the Backstreet Boys and you also like are there to experience their Backstreet Boys catalog of music, you're like, wow, like it made me appreciate them more. No shade to New Kids.
Yes. New Kids were like the garlic mash.
They were the garlic mash.
Good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great.
The steak's better, but they're good.
Too funny.
Have a little bit of variety.
But honestly, everyone that I talked to that went to the mixtape tour loved it. And
this could be the wave of the future, because as boy bands are aging, you know what I mean? We want them to stick around. I do, at least.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But New Kids are in their 50s.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's going to be a point in the very near future, like when they're 60, let's just say, that they might not be able to put on a full 90-minute concert by themselves. You know what I mean? So
yeah. This is a good alternative.
This is the wave of the future, right? We talked about it even when we were talking about potentially NSYNC and Backstreet teaming up. It's a good way to sort of still be out there and still be touring and still be doing all this stuff without having to do the full thing by yourself.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Yes.
Because I would love to see all these boy bands in their 60s and 70s like,
Yes. That'd be great.
Because we'll also be old, so it'll be fine.
We're shaking our cage.
Canes. I thought you said cage. I was like, what?
Yeah, the future.
Lydia is now in a cage because she molested too many boy bands.
They're not giving up anything.
Watching from jail. That's great.
The hologram from my prison cell is amazing.
Turning off the electricity to Lydia. She's not allowed to watch holograms
And
anymore.
you have like a flashlight. I can see still.
I sound like someone on like a popsicle stick. You can't stop the music.
You're hilarious.
That note.
Oh my god.
Oh, can we mention the concert that's coming up that not New Kids related, but I'm also very excited about, that has multiple bands?
Sure.
Is it Boots and Hearts?
Yes.
It is not.
This is kind of a newsy item that is like most people won't care about, but is very exciting for us.
Very exciting to us because it is the day before my birthday and it's like almost everything I love.
So, just announced. You want to say it?
So I think it's called Park Jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Park Jam on September 8th in London, Ontario, Canada. It's 98 Degrees is headlining. And then O-Town is also there. And Aaron Carter and Lance Bass from NSYNC is hosting the day. And it's
Oh, it's like $5 a ticket.
no,
Oh.
that's the Pop
Ohio.
2K tour in Ohio.
Oh.
That's $5, and that has Ryan Cabrera. So we got rid of Ryan Cabrera, and now we have 98 Degrees. So I was just like, this is amazing. It's slightly more than $5, though, so sadly.
Slightly
So
more.
if anybody would like to contribute or give us free tickets, that'd be great. Otherwise, super excited to go to it.
Yay! So yes, well, I don't know what was going to happen with Pickerington, but we're definitely going to that.
We're still hoping to go to Pickerington, but it's kind of up in the air because of
We're in
the
discussion
travel
still,
plans.
yes.
But we're 1,000% going to the London show, so we are very excited about this.
So more content for you guys to look forward to, because we're going to be able to review 98 Degrees. We're going to be able to review O-Town, and we'll tell you what Lance Bass was like too, because he's still kind of in a boy band. And I guess we can talk
kind-
about Aaron.
Okay.
Too bad that
don't
Chris
wanna
isn't
come?
coming. That's the only downfall of that.
Yeah,
Because
maybe-
Chris has actually hosted a couple of the Pop 2K things. So
Is it Pop 2K or is this one Pop 2000? Or was the other one
I
Pop
don't know,
2000?
whatever. It doesn't really matter.
They have a
This
very
is not.
similar
This is
name.
technically a different concert
This
because
is not
98
it
Degrees.
anyways.
But yes, very excited. Yay for boy bands. Keep touring boy bands.
Yay
Keep
for content.
keep making albums. Thank you to everyone who listened to our Jonas Brother album review, by the way. It's our third most listened to review.
Aw,
and our
nice.
Backstreet Boys DNA is the first, our most listened
And
to.
on this note, so I know that we had asked, we had been bugging you guys on social media about sending us mixtape reviews, and if you haven't been able to tell through the course of these last 37 minutes, nobody sent one in.
Ow.
Ouch, you hurt our hearts, guys. But we do still want, like, we really do want to know, like, what other people think. So, I mean, we're kind of done with this mixtape thing, and the tour is kind of over. But if you have DNA tour reviews, if you're gonna
Jonas
go
Brothers.
to the Jonas Brothers shows and you want to send us reviews of those, if you're gonna go to any of these like pop whatever they are O-Town shows or 90 Degrees shows, like, seriously, send us your stuff. We're not gonna be like, oh no, this is a garbage review, like, you know.
We will talk about anything, and we have a functioning phone line, so if
We
you want to
do.
call in, you can possibly be a guest on our
Woo!
show.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Definitely.
And we are
Don't
currently...
sleep on it. Don't wait. Don't say I'm gonna do it later. Do it now, because
Wait, now.
you know the DNA tour is coming up. It's just like a couple weeks away, and not even like a week away, and we want to
excited about
know.
that.
We do want to know what you think. Like this, you know.
So you can hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram @BoyBandBreak, or you can email us boybandbreak@gmail.com. And right now you need to go onto our Facebook page and enter our contest, because we are giving away a Backstreet Boys VIP poster and a Jonas Brothers CD board game. So pretty rare items, and all you have to do is listen. So we want all of our episodes to have at least 50 listens, and once that happens, we are giving out the prizes. So share them with your friends, comment, and let us know what you think of our episodes and what you want to hear in the future, because we definitely want to keep this entertaining and want you guys to know, like, we want to talk about what you want to hear about. So yeah, cool.
Keep you listening. All right, guys. Thanks so much for taking a break with us.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.